get ready to welcome your new overlords because we are in our Project Bluebeam era. Welcome, guys. It's been an interesting few days, right? I mean, Project Bluebeam always seemed like an extreme, but it's like, okay, we are clearly heading towards something interesting, right? I mean, yeah. So let's see who's in the chat. Brian, what is on the agenda tonight? Okay, so tonight's agenda, nothing specific. I'm like, let's just talk about whatever the heck is going on. All this weirdness that's happening supposedly in the skies of Canada now. We talked about the balloon last week, but now they're like claiming that they shot down something that they can't identify. A little sus, if you ask me. So Riddick, come on, Ash, put some clothes on, some makeup, and start. All right, well, now I am started. But thank you for the encouragement. Hex Hoddle, forgot to give a like. You were first. Well, thank you for my first like. And anybody hanging out here or watching in the replay, I would love your likes and your subs. So thank you so much for every like and sub. We are already there, just starting to see it. Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you. It just sounded more clever to be like, we are entering our Project Bluebeam era. No, I mean, and it's been in our media for a long time, hasn't it? Oh, and I don't have my 1980s DVD, but you get the picture. Clintrons, good morning, or is it good afternoon? How's it going? Thanks for being here tonight. Yeah, so very interesting, very intriguing the way we are going. Oh wow, I look like I'm wearing like a parka, like it's really cold, but it's pretty warm in New York right now. So I don't know. I guess I'm never appropriately dressed. I'm always dressed too warm because I don't like being cold. Toxic Hexhog, 3 watching and 4 likes. Is that a diss? I also did not promote anything. I just kind of hopped on. But look, because I'm actually here on a Saturday night. I did not delay it to a Sunday this time. So I've been a good girl, trying to be good, trying to get back on track. Hey, Ada, thanks for popping in here. Nice to see you tonight. Oh, it's Sunday. Okay, so it is afternoon. Okay, I was close. I was almost there, Clintrons. Torin, hey. So yeah, shout out to all the Hexicans in here. Yeah, thanks for being here tonight, guys. And also I just did Conservatish with Peter Feliciano. It's in my community post, so anyone wants to check it out. That was a fun one. Did that, kind of talked a little bit about everything, and definitely fangirling because Katie Hopkins was on that podcast. So I'm like, I got to be on the same thing Katie Hopkins was on. So thank you, Peter, for that. So yeah, guys, the normies, like, this is all theater for the normies because our eyes are open. We know what's going on. We know what has been going on, that this is like, like Brian said, this is not new. We've been in Project Bluebeam for a while. I mean, we've seen different examples of it. And we've seen the tech, and keep in mind that all tech we see, likely it's 50 to 100 years behind the tech that actually exists. They're not showing us their full capabilities. Why would they? I mean, I guess, what is that, a military secret to give this stuff away? I don't even know anymore. But so we know that the last week we talked about that stupid balloon, if that's what it was, who knows, whatever, that supposedly came from China and then flew over, and our administration let it fly over and do its thing. And it was very odd because, everybody's like, if it really is that country, why wouldn't they just use their spy satellites? Why are they using old tech? It's like around the world in 80 days. But there was some news this week saying, well, that because of where it was at, and because it wasn't like a satellite, that it was able to record sounds and pick up sounds and information. So let's just say that's true. That's pretty gross that our administration let that happen and let our privacy get invaded like that. So it's like, whose side are you on? Okay, we know who's been bought out. They've been bought out since the 90s. All right, another story. So I mean, that's just, we're just throwing around different ideas. So that was that. And we thought it was, we thought it was over with. And then we're like, yesterday it was like, oh, another unidentified object, and it was shot down over Alaska. So I'm like, hear that, and I'm like, oh, more of the same BS, whatever. They're trying to distract us. Is it balloons, whatever? Who's going around the world in 80 days? Is it Biden? I don't know or care. Is it maybe him and Pelosi having some sort of romantic getaway? I don't know. Because we see apparently there's it's like Pineapple Club over there in that State of the Union. So who knows what they're doing? Okay, I'm getting off track. So unidentified object detected in Montana a few hours ago. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, the timeline of everything that's been happening. Oh no, I did not see the green lasers over Hawaii, but now I'm gonna go back to that after I finish my little rant, because now we could all look at that together. Hi, Crypto Journeyman. So yeah, so that was that, and then yesterday again, like I said, serious object shot down over Alaska. It was shot down over Prudhoe Bay. Prudhoe, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. It wasn't Prudhoe Bay, where that sounds vaguely familiar. It either has something to do with the Palins or where the oil spill was. I don't know. Maybe Doug can help us out if he's in here, but whatever it may be, not that it even matters. It was shot down and it landed in the water, and they're like, oh, it's all cold and frozen. We can't recover it yet, but that's where it's at. And it was, shot down. All right. So then as the news starts developing, we start hearing things about really weird conflicting reports. And it's weird because, it's the news. Not that the news is ever credible, but, they usually don't say such extreme weird stuff as we were hearing yesterday. It was like, oh, you heard from one source, it was a metallic object and it was hovering. And then another one, it was like, no, it was, flying at however many thousand feet. But, it kept coming back to this thing that it was strange, no known propulsion. It was a ball of metal and it was flying. Huh. Now, clearly we know we don't have any technology like that, nothing that they've told us. So it's almost like leading, answering, they're trying to lead us by the nose. So they like, even in that press conference, he was very vague. He didn't say it was a spy thing. He didn't say it was a drone. That guy just left it very vague in that press conference. And I feel like it's the leading by the nose, where they're pretending. It's like asking a leading question, except they're giving leading answers. They're just like, okay, we're not going to say, but well, first of all, our instincts as humans are, the way our brains work is that brains fill in the blanks. So if you look at the FedEx logo, FedEx, between the FedEx, okay, between the E and the X, sorry, I had to visualize that a moment, right? It looks like an arrow, because the brain sees the negative space and fills it in, and that's part of their logo. So, the way they know our brains work, they're not saying anything too obvious, but they're presenting it in a way so that our brains all interpret it as, oh, it was a UFO, it was an alien craft, whatever. And it was shot down and nobody knows what it was. That's what they left it at today. I mean, yesterday, right? Then today, just like Tomas was saying, okay, detected in Montana a few hours ago. I saw this on, what's it called tonight? I can't think straight. Look, it's because I'm drinking water. I don't have my 4 shots of espresso, in addition to the 4 I had this morning. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get my brain working here. I should just take MCT oil, but that's, yeah. So today they were like, okay. But before they even said unidentified objects over Montana, they first started with, oh, we have to close the airspace over Montana. That's weird. Again, they want us to fill in the blanks. Airspace is closed. They didn't give any info. Then apparently the info starts to come out, like Tomas said, that there was an object detected in Montana. What's going on here? So our government, who never acknowledged the existence of anything, even other governments, when, we've heard rumors about things being shot down, they would never tell us. All of a sudden, they want to start telling us that, it's like, parents keeping things from kids, but all of a sudden letting the kids in the business, into their business for whatever reason. Now, why does the government want us, their underlings, in their business all of a sudden? Do we want to think that they're genuinely, out of the kindness of their heart, want to share this info with us? No, it's intentional. And, and their answers are leading answers so that we put certain ideas in our brain and come to certain conclusions, but yet they don't tell us outright so that they can go, no, 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 we never said it was a UFO. So that's my setup. Let's go to the chat. But all this stuff, So I'm going in circles, but you guys, no, I'm just annoyed. With all this stuff going on, because who's going to go after this and go, oh my gosh, the aliens are coming? The normies, right? People that don't think for themselves. Okay, I'm going to be nice. But yeah, this is playing right into the normies. Drix, it's Ashley time. It's a weird time. Thank you for being here, Drix. Best stream on YouTube. Oh, Russ, you're too nice to me. Thank you. Hexander, good evening. Yeah, let the invasion begin, right? I think we all need to revisit childhood's end. So, what is this video? Ooh, let us in. I'm curious. BitChute. That means it's something that can't be on YouTube usually. There's no credible source at 40,000 feet above Alaska. Yeah, I guess none of us were floating up there to know what's going on. And the weird thing is like, oh, Justin Trudeau's like, no, I gave the order to shoot it down, because NORAD, I guess, apparently is joint North America things. I never paid much attention to NORAD, so that's news to me. But it makes sense. But we were told that the Biden administration gave the okay to shoot it down. And now Justin Trudeau said that he gave the okay to shoot it down, but it was an American fighter jet. And I'm like, they can't even get their stories straight. And Canada's like, we're recovering it tomorrow. So, like, I don't know. Everything just seems like such a big joke. Talk about unseriousness. This thing looks nice and cozy and fluffy, but warm like a ship. What does this? Because this is warm. Airspace over Montana. Yeah. I don't know if it was the entire state or part of the state, but it was a very large area of airspace shut down, and they didn't tell us anything because they want us to fill in the blanks in our brain. And then as the news started coming out, oh no, there was something they were looking for in the sky. They didn't end up finding it. Maybe they like balloons. Yeah, I guess they could just be a big fan of Nina, right? And then, this is their fangirl way of playing out, pretending they're in a Nina music video, I guess, right? 99 red balloons, Luft balloons. Hey, Elliot. Yeah, they are prepping us for an alien invasion to bring us all together to get no treatment to protect us. 100%. Because look at the timing of this, and it's not even like they waited a few months. They know that the whole balloon debacle is fresh in our brains, so they're hitting us the week after because they know we got a short attention span. It's too convenient, the timing. So they're like, okay, hit them now. The COVID paranoia is fading. It's not holding as much power over people. What is the next thing we can do? And it's funny because we've been talking about this for years. We've all known about Project Bluebeam for years, but if you all of a sudden stage something via Project Bluebeam, just like that, yeah, it'll have an effect for sure. There'll be panic, whatever. But if they can start priming us little by little, then it's like think about a bunch of sheep. Okay, I don't know a lot about shepherding, but just like the kind of idea of like animal behaviors and the way that animals move. Okay, if you were to stand in a flock of sheep and pop a balloon, right, they'll all scatter and they'll run. But if you get the dogs, the shepherding dogs in there to kind of be guiding them at the side and pushing them along this way and getting them here, then you can move them along. So to all of a sudden drop Project Bluebeam without priming us, and yes, there's been priming throughout history and throughout media here and there. Yeah, but if you were to drop it, it'll have an effect, but maybe not the effect they want. But if they start slowly introducing something here and slowly introducing here and kind of turning the narrative in a certain way and showing us different things here, then you start seeing how that they can guide something along. You start trying to inject certain ideas like maybe new age cosmic type of religions. Didn't Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about that in the future he envisions a cosmic religion of some sort, right? Okay. But they kind of influence us here and there, and and then they have certain clergy answer questions. You think that aliens are capable of salvation and being saved in our faith if they do come, so they kind of get you here and there, and they're injecting themselves into our culture and then our TV and our movies and everything. And so they're getting us where they want it before they start completely dropping Project Bluebeam. And so I wonder, I look at this and I'm like, okay, is this part of the long game? And we're just, for a while, we're going to start seeing all these sightings and this and that. I mean, but it seems like it's just exponentially increased. Or are they ramping up to do something very soon? And I can't help but wonder if it's going to happen, it's going to happen soon. Because like we said, all the COVID and lockdown stuff is worn off. They need something new. They try to push for 15-minute cities and climate lockdowns, but people just aren't as afraid when it comes to climate because there's still a lot of suspicion. But shoot, you put something in the sky, people are going to pay attention. Okay, think about V. I always go back to this, but I love it. It's so perfect. Oh yeah, and this is the way I like to open my Blu-ray box sets. Leave on the packaging, but V 2009. I haven't seen enough of the 1980s V to know, what direction they were going in. But this is like, all of a sudden they all come in, the aliens, over every city, and people sit up, they pay attention, but they present themselves as the benevolent overlords, which I guess is kind of like Childhood's End, which this is based on. So this is just, V is a take on Childhood's End. This came first. They present themselves as the benevolent overlords. And then as the benevolent overlords, you have like, okay, they're really benevolent, or do they have a more sinister thing going on? So you see that, okay, I don't believe that there's ever going to be an invasion of, ETs coming into the Earth, but I can totally picture a scenario where it becomes staged, and you have this Project Bluebeam invasion coming, and you have these quote unquote overlords coming saying, we're going to save humanity, we're going to help you, we're going to protect you from your climate, we're going to protect you from the nuclear wars, but this is what you have to do. You have to cooperate. We all need to work together. First, you need to stay in your house a long time. Okay. And we're going to introduce things to make you healthy. I mean, spoiler alert, not so spoiler alert. You watch V, that's how they walk in. They're like, all right, we know how to heal you. We know how to save you. Come into our medical clinics and put these things into your body. And it's going to completely heal you of all different things. But hey, as we know, V and the reptilians, we know what direction that goes in. Of course, I've mentioned this in the past. This was streaming on Amazon Prime. Yes, I know contracts expire and that they start up certain contracts here and there, and different streaming companies take on different shows. But conveniently, in these past couple of years, when we had a certain medical thing introduced to people and sold to people, this came off streaming. You could buy it, but it's not free for streaming anymore. Interestingly, because another thing was, this is what made me question all that back in 2009. So they probably don't want more people questioning that. So I'm trying to be vague, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm admiring my V box set. I just love it. Riddick said, "Who said they sent from? Where all U.S. chips are going to be produced now soon? Where's your president is going to be soon? What they want to have control over, and so on. Connect the dots." Yeah, I mean, and think about it. You Project Bluebeam something, and you put these overlords that people who flock toward leadership. They flock toward somebody who's going to tell them what to do. They want protection. As if we're not human. You know what I mean? That's what we as humans do, right? So if we live in a time of uncertainty and everything seems like it's collapsing and, oh my gosh, we're going to be on the verge of nuclear war. Oh, here's this advanced civilization, and they're going to tell us what to do, and they're going to take over production, and and they're going to have control over things, and they're going to work hand in hand with your president, and everything's going to be good. Yeah, they're going to say the aliens are warning. Yeah, exactly. Whatever they don't like, they're going to use the aliens as an excuse. The aliens. And people got upset because I had tweeted that thing out. So I'm going to put my hair up. I'm just making myself insane. People had got upset because I tweeted out that thing. If anybody saw it, I was tweeting. What did I tweet out yesterday? Cue the fake alien invasion. And people are like, are delusional. Quote unquote normies. When we talk about normies, I guess that's what the normies are. You know what I mean? They can't even fathom that. They can't understand it. But who's going to be the first to fall for it? Those normies who think we're so insane for being cue the staged alien invasion. They're like, you're delusional or you're something. I'm like, you don't get it. Do you not get the nuance and all this? But yeah, but that's why they can do it, because of people like that who think we're delusional. I refuse to be prepped. You know what? Our eyes are open. We know which way it's going. And you wonder, it's like, is it not good to consume media if it's priming us? But I feel like if your eyes are open, then it kind of opens your eyes even more. I mean, me and my mom were like talking about, we need to revisit the X-Files, because it's a long show. I'm not good at watching TV shows very fast. So when it took me 2.5 years to go through all 11 seasons of the X-Files. And I finished that maybe 5 years ago. And you would hear some things here and there, and you're like, it's relevant. But as time has gone on, I'm like, I've talked about how relevant it is. It seems more and more. I'm like, I need to go through this entire series with a fine-tooth comb, because I mean, it's all happening. It's all going down. Childhood's End was an awesome book. I'm telling you. Unfortunately, I didn't finish it. I had started it. I'm going to pick back up with it. But like, it was mind-blowing reading this, because the first section, if I'm remembering correctly, starts with the UN. The UN cooperating with this together, and I'm like, that's totally who would be cooperating with them. Oh gosh, man. And that reveal at the end of that first thing. It's also available on Vudu, or wherever you download stuff. I bought it on Vudu for like $5 or $6. The mini series from the Sci-Fi Channel, they turned this into like maybe a 3-part mini series. So I'm like, I need to finish this and then watch the mini series. Yeah, exactly. Don't fall for it, but keep your eyes open. Just look at everything, question everything. What do they say in X-Files? Trust no one. That was also what my grandfather would also tell me every time I went out somewhere. And he was right. I see it more and more as time goes on. I thought he was just being a pessimist. Yeah, those Italian immigrants know what they're talking about. A Saturday treat. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for popping in. I know I actually came here on a Saturday. What a shock. I'm trying to get my shizzle together to be back on a regular schedule. It's just like, I feel so drained and tired all the time and non-functional. And everyone I talk about around here, everyone I talk to about that around here just feels the same thing. So I don't know if it's our weather or whatever, but we are all exhausted. But we also haven't gotten a really cold winter. So I feel like our bodies are used to that winter reset, and it hasn't happened. Aliens buy Chinese balloons. Yeah, right. Aliens fine. Yeah, they go to where's the wish.com. That's where they're getting their balloons from. Well, Chinese balloons are the cheapest. Oh, there we go. Yeah, AliExpress. You're right. That's more of who carries it. Man, Clintron's like this China situation. Okay, now I don't believe these balloons really have much to do with China. Like we're talking, this is a staged thing, blue beam thing happening. But when we do talk about the issues with China, yeah, I do think China is a problem. I do think it's a threat. I do believe our politicians have been selling us out probably since before the 90s, but that's when it became very obvious. But man, Clintron's, like the Australia-China situation is like really frightening, especially what was going on with Darwin and their lockdowns. The fact that I guess they're a city that's so close to China that people kind of are like, it's kind of sold out to China and that it was a testing ground for Chinese things. Not saying necessarily the virus, but just Chinese models of lockdown and everything. And it was, ooh, that was eye opening. And I there's this woman, I believe she's called the White Rabbit on Twitter, and she's in Australia. I think she's in Melbourne, and she was talking about how all of a sudden lately there's all this stuff talking about what to do in a disaster, what to do in an emergency, and this is how you're going to handle things. And they're like, this is odd for them to be telling us these things all of a sudden. Like, since when does anybody care about preparedness? I mean, we know the importance of it, but we're typically not pushed toward it in a big way. It's more like keep some extra water on hand, that type of thing. So people are like, and I know this sounds like an insane conspiracy theory, but it makes you wonder. People are like, is Australia already sold out to something or someone? And, whoever's going to come in and invade and take over their purchase has to sweep through, and everybody's got to stay in. And this is why they're telling everybody to prepare. And I know that's very vague and I'm explaining it wrong. But yeah, if you go to the White Rabbit's Twitter, it's very intriguing. It does make you wonder. The only thing that can save us from the aliens is higher taxes. Yes, higher taxes, giving up our cars and eating crickets. That is what is going to save us from the aliens. So you guys, make sure to do your part. Okay. Don't let the aliens eat us. We need to eat those crickets. And yeah, oof. Don't sound very good. Well, I got an excuse. I can't eat shellfish, and I hear that it triggers the same allergies. So, good evening, Hex Force One. Nice to see you here tonight. We in Australia sell all of our everything to China. Interesting. Okay, so China, even though they export so much to us here in the U.S., so they are actually buying from Australia. So interesting. You could see the points being okay. You can see not the points, but you can see the advantages of China doing a stealth takeover of Australia. And it makes you wonder, because it's like, okay, it doesn't have to necessarily roll in like an invasion, but what if there was a stealth takeover in the government and whoever's behind whatever, and all these politicians are sold out? You can see the advantages of that if Australia is selling everything to China. Because I mean, man, Australia is a natural resource rich place. Probably are eyeing it, because think about how close it is. Australia's gone already. Something is going to be there. We can only suspect. Yeah, so White Rabbit is saying that what the heck are they prepping us for? Apparently, is this person that we're sold out to going to come in and roll in, and we all got to stay inside on lockdown? But she feels like they're clearly prepping them for something. So, intriguing situation there. It's too bad. It's a cool country. So I hope you guys are good. I'm not trying to be negative, Clintrons. It's sad to hear. I mean, I love Australians. I love Casey Chambers. And Australia has always been one of my dream places to go. And the people are always really cool. I feel like Americans and Australians have a lot in common. But yeah, so I hope everybody, it really sucks that you guys are disarmed, because being afraid of the people, are an armed citizen militia, really does. It really is a deterrent. So it's scary, that progression of disarming and what that leads to. So I mean, I hope everything's good for you guys, but Clintrons, I hope you're safe and I hope you're prepared, and that everything turns out all right for you guys. China and Australia are well connected. They are close. Also, there are very few people per 1 square mile, a lot of empty space. That was one of the things that fascinated me about the country when I first not when I first learned about it, but my mom and her side of the family are immigrants. And before they came to the US, one of the places that they checked out was my grandfather lived and worked in Sydney for 6 months to see if it was an option. And so when he was telling me about Australia, it never occurred to me that the whole country wasn't populated like the US is populated, that it was just concentrated on the coast and the outback is pretty sparse. So I'm like, wow, wow, that's pretty. The population density, how that is all laid out is pretty intriguing. And it's also intriguing just how, I mean, resource dense and rich it is. I mean, you could see why they would be eyeing that country. Lockdowns would have been very different here without the Second Amendment. Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think we talked about it. Did we talk about it? Yeah, we did last week, where Katie Hopkins was talking about the people coming in and forcefully, breaking into the houses, the some of the power companies, and installing prepaid meters in people's houses. And she's like, you know what? She goes, if we had the Second Amendment, that wouldn't happen. She's like, she was telling the British people that would not happen in America. And I love the way she ended it. It cracked me up so much. She goes, because Americans, whenever Biden does something stupid, Americans go and buy another gun. She's the best. I feel like there are no real Australians left here in Sydney where you are. Okay, so you're there too. In Sydney where you are. All the Chinese around you are definitely prepared for the China takeover. So that's interesting. It's interesting when you look at other people who might have better news or access to what's going on too. Because I remember here at the beginning of lockdowns, I had clients that were Chinese, and they were starting to kind of step back from everything early on, before we really knew what this virus was and whether it was mild or serious. They were really pulling in, and I think starting to work from home early and being cautious early. And I felt like, I'm like, you know what? They must be in communication with family members over there and kind of getting an indication of what's going on with lockdowns, and they know what's coming our way. So it's interesting because, yeah, if you put it into this perspective, it's like, what are they hearing? What is going through the grapevine? Because I'm not saying that those people, that those immigrants in Sydney are necessarily connected to what's going on, whatever potential takeover might happen. But if they have family over in the military, over in the Chinese mainland, you never know what they're hearing through the grapevine. So I think that's incredible. That's so telling that they're prepared for something coming. And I would use that to, I mean, I'm going to assume that you're already prepared, but like, I hope everybody else sees that, your friends and your family, and that they follow suit and do the same thing. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Hey, Tin Top. Who is that? Okay. Is that Boba Fett in your profile picture? I wonder if you can see on Discovery when they pick up gold from the ground and not allowed to dig deeper. So what is underneath? Just wondering. Oh, that's interesting. You know what? You think I had bought some documentaries on Vudu a few years ago about UFO sightings in Australia. Because talk about some interesting things in Australia. I need to sit down and watch them. But I mean, it's so vast, and because there's so little population in the outback, you do wonder what goes on there and what's underneath, and how many dumbs there are out there. I believe the idea about DUMBs, deep underground military bases, but I can never fathom how they're creating it. And I'm like, okay, yes, I'm sure advanced technology can create those massive DUMBs, but then I heard somebody say, oh no, they're antediluvian or pre-diluvian taverns or caverns, and we've just co-opted them, whoever's using them currently. I'm like, that makes 100% sense. What else did I hear about DUMBs lately that kind of okay. There's a new terminal at Grand Central, and I always knew that Grand Central went deep, especially if you're going to the 7 line. Like, that's really like, wow, pretty deep in there. But now there's a new terminal that opens so for anyone who's not from New York, the northern suburbs of what uses Grand Central. I think Jersey uses Jersey uses some others. I guess the one that's near the World Trade Center, and they use New York Penn. And I think the LIRR, Long Island, uses Penn Station. But there's been a thing for many decades where they want some LIRR lines, some of the Long Island lines, to use Grand Central. And so now they finally opened a terminal for Long Island, and it's 17 stories underneath Grand Central. Can you imagine that? 17 stories deep is where the new terminal is. Now, I'm like, has anybody ever seen the movement of dirt coming out there, or was that already there? Has it been there for decades and they're just utilizing it, or are they carrying it out on trains? Or is this the kind of the pre-diluvian cavern? Why do I want to say cavern concept? But I mean, to me, that's mind blowing, because I'm like, 17 stories underground. That's where the new terminal is. How much else is going on underground around us? What is happening over there where you can't go digging for gold in certain parts of Australia? Whether willing or not willing, Chinese operatives, they are still Chinese after all. So you think they're operatives, those people that are preparing? Is that it? I'm sorry if I'm misunderstanding. I'm still trying to. Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. You're saying that that's where their loyalties lie, and maybe that's how they have their information. That's interesting. Plenty of space here in Australia to be self-sovereign. Oh yeah. I've heard stories about people living off the Nullarbor, and it just sounds like you can just be there and not see people for days. Like, I love those stories. They're amazing. So yeah, that's the nice thing. But I also wonder about the harsh environments, because here, if you go into the rural areas, if you go into really wooded areas in America, you want to be self-sovereign. Yeah, you can possibly not see people for a few days, but you also have access to resources. You have spring water, you have hunting and everything. Like, some of these places look very sparse. So that's what I wonder, like, how can you support? I guess you can wells, right? Wells would be the way to do that. It's a child wearing a Boba Fett helmet in a bookstore. Oh, now I see. Yes, it looks like a small person. Yeah, it's a child. Okay, and I see the books behind. You hitchhiked you hitchhiked all the way? Did you hitchhike all the way to New York? Just knock on my door and say hi if you're here, Doug. WTF? I'm behind in the comments in the live chat, so I don't know what you're WTFing to. Hexagon Contractor, it's been a while since I've seen you. Finally made it live. Well, I am so glad to see you. Because everybody comes and goes, and so yeah, it's always nice to see you guys pop back in. It's nice to see you back. I know you've been really busy with work. Hope work is good. Also, that reminds me, we haven't seen Mr. Okel in a while. Mr. Okel, we miss you. If you are watching in the replay, drop me a wave in the comments. Around Australia in the 80s, super cool people. Yeah, Australians always entertain me. You guys are a fun bunch. I've acted with an Australian that always cracks me up. 17 stories is 185 feet. So what is 185 feet? Not that deep, but I mean, think about it. Like, the city, how do you do that kind of construction with the space that's happening? There's not a lot of space to be digging, so it's really weird. Are they saying it has to be that deep to go under the water? I have no idea. I haven't heard the details about why it's that deep. I'm just assuming that that's where they have the free space, because the other stories are occupied with other functions and different things happening. I'm not 100% sure. Well, because I don't think so, because Penn Station is not that deep to go out to Long Island, right? So why would Grand Central need to be that deep? I don't know. Very weird. Everything's weird. Nothing makes sense. Yeah. So is everybody gonna go check out Childhood's End in V? Oh, I gotta put this back together, make this all nice. It was so sad that they canceled it in season 2. They don't want to reveal more of their plan. Is that it? I don't know, man. But strange times for sure. Gosh, I'm sure there's so much else I was thinking about and saying. Wait, hold on. There was something I wanted to look up. Oh, the lasers in Hawaii. Okay, let me check that out. Hawaii lasers. Oh, Chinese satellite razors. Lasers. Green lasers beam spotted off Hawaii from Chinese satellite. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Let's open this up. Oh, okay. See that bit shoot was the video of it. Thank you. Everything is weird. Yeah. Is that like that Lego song? Everything is awesome. Hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you. Oh, and Mauna Kea, which is wait, isn't Mauna Kea like the biggest volcano in the world too? Because it starts deep. Oh, here's the bit shoot. Thank you. Did it get cut off? But I'm gonna open the here, the screen share. Alrighty, here we go. Let me just make sure it's sharing correctly. Yes, it is. Oh, great. Sorry, give me a second. I lost the tab now. Oh, I don't like this. I can't find my tab. Sorry, give me a minute because I could see it in here but now I can't. I don't know. I can't find my tab. Sorry, guys. I'm going to need a minute. Okay, there we go. I have to reopen it. Okay. Oh, cool. So then I could play it then. But the thing is, it has a ... So I have to find the full link. I have the full link up here, right? Is this the same one you had sent earlier? Is this it? Yes. Okay, here's the full link. Okay. Man, why can't I copy and paste that? It won't let me do it. It won't let me copy and paste it because I'm in StreamYard. Hold on. I look so technologically inept. I promise you I function a little better in real life. Yeah. Okay, but the post article looks like it's the same. Okay, cool. Click it from the YouTube chat. Yeah, it's not, I guess because I have to actually go into YouTube. Okay, I see. Let me try to get into YouTube now. How do I get into YouTube where I'm at? You guys are going to be laughing at me because I'm just like being so ridiculous right now. Oh, view on YouTube. I did it. Just like being so ridiculous right now. Oh, now I got to deal with that. View on YouTube. Okay, there we go. Okay. So the BitChute link. There we go. Thank you so much, Brian. Oh, page not found. Okay, let me try that again. Bear with me, guys. There we go. Okay. Ha. Copy paste. Yeah, it wasn't letting me do it before. You're not going to be laughing. You're laughing already. Never mind. Okay. All right. Let me take this away. Let me share my screen. There we go. You need to reiterate, it's the best stream on YouTube. You know what? Because it's authentic and you just get me as I am. I just kind of show up and I'm looking all insane and I just whatever. Because you know what? I just like that. I just like to do it that way. I'm not good with the planning. It's fun to just kind of see where things take us. So thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. So we're gonna open up the BitChute. Okay. I'm okay now. BitChute. There we go. Ha. Wait, I have to turn off my mic, right, in order to play this. Okay, I remembered from last time. So weird. Look at that. It's, hmm. This is my question though. Do most satellites shoot down lasers and this is just happens to be recorded? Apparently not, because then I guess it wouldn't be newsworthy. But is it China again, or are they trying to? Is it our country trying to get us into some sort of war by like blaming everything on China by scapegoating them? It really you can't figure this stuff out. I guess it's not worth figuring these people out. The criminals that run our government. Okay, let's open up the Post article and check it out. Let's see what they're saying. Because, like I said, I don't even know what to make of this. It's just, yeah, I'm a little taken aback about this, as you can see. Okay, so experts believe that a Chinese satellite fired down green laser beams that were spotted over Hawaii last month amid growing tensions between the U.S. and China after several foreign objects. Is this another shark bump again? If it is China, so okay, so this was the National Astronomical Observatory, Japan. Okay, they caught it with their camera on Mauna Kea. And from what I'm told, a lot of astronomy stuff goes on in Mauna Kea because of its how big it is and how tall it is. So the lights are thought to be from a remote sensing altimeter satellite. Okay, so altimeter. Video of the strange phenomenon released shows numerous mysterious green beams eerily shooting successively across the night sky. 1 week later, they issued a correction on their video saying that the most likely candidate was this Chinese Dakwi satellite. So they ran a simulation of satellite trajectories. Okay. Sorry, so I'm just skimming this because this is news to me. Thank you so much for bringing this up. Okay. So NASA's satellite launched and shoots thousands of lasers down at Earth to measure the planet's surface. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, the altimeters before. So satellites' laser pulses are also bright green, and that's why scientists likely determined that the light stemmed from the craft. However, the Chinese satellite has similar laser technology, and its trajectory matched to where the lasers were spotted, the news outlet reported. The strange light show comes as the United States remains on what the heck is up with New York Post editing? They first spell where weird and they just said United remains on edge. Okay, the US shot down a massive Chinese surveillance balloon. Okay, blah blah blah. Another high altitude object. Object. Okay, Pentagon spokesperson says US has not determined the object's capabilities, purpose, or origin. How do you not know what you shot down? Okay, purpose. Again, they want us to read between the lines. They want us to think that it is something, without them directly saying it. Object was the size of a car, so much smaller than the balloon shot down last week. Wait, so is this like an alien car, or is this like in Harry Potter where Ronald Weasley takes the flying car? Identified airborne object. Okay. Canadian and U.S. aircraft were scrambled. Our fighter jet fired at the object. Okay. So weird. Definitely weird. The Chinese satellite doing that. But the thing is, if our satellites are going around as altimeters measuring the surface of the Earth, I guess they're entitled and allowed to do that, right? I can't imagine that. I mean, they're allowed to do scientific research, right? We can't slap them on the hand and say you're not allowed to do it. But then, you wonder because you can never trust people like them that want to be superpowers. There are certain superpowers you can't trust. So you're like, okay, well, what is their goal? But why are they shooting down? Is there something else in the laser? Is there something nefarious? Is it going to affect human beings? I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of it. But I'm like, if it's clearly an altimeter, I guess it's clearly an altimeter. Weird. Yeah, we're very weak and our enemies know it. So that's why it's like, is it a shark bump? But they're shark bumping us with a scientific satellite that's measuring the Earth's surface, so that when we react, they'd be like, "Oh no, it's science, science." Yeah, science. That's like Portal. There's science to be done, and we make a neat gun. Yeah, what is going on with the lasers? Yeah, this is not normal. And apparently, yeah, I mean, and I know it's like scientific research, there are laser measuring things, even if you're like, working in a house measuring things, but it just seems weird. It's very sus. It feels like a shark bump. Contrast enhanced, more like video editor enhanced. Hey, 369, how's it going? Oh, thank you, Clintrons. I appreciate that. Maybe they'll try to make China the saviors of us all, protecting us from the alien invasion in secret while making the new medication save those willing to partake. Okay, I like that. That's interesting because, I guess what is the saying? Occam's razor, whatever, get rid of all these complicated theories. But no, when you're dealing with elites and the people that want to control us, the powers that be, and I don't mean China, I mean it's going above them. Occam's razor doesn't apply because it is a theory wrapped in a plan, wrapped in bacon, covered evil. Not that but never mind. No, but it's interesting. Make China the saviors. Because that's another way, if you think about that, we've been primed in media. How much media do we watch that shows China as a superpower? China as a future superpower. Look at Firefly, Serenity and Firefly. They show that the U.S. and China are the two superpowers, so that when humans go into space and colonize, you are speaking Chinese, you're speaking English, and then you're speaking a mix in between the two. So we have so much media that's kind of perpetuating this idea of China as a superpower. China is a very big superpower. So if you put it into this context, this idea, we're like, okay, it's more priming us to accept the fact that they can easily become a superpower. I mean, for years, people been pushed like, have your children learn Mandarin because it's going to come to benefit them in the future, because this is, going to be another, it'll become one of the big languages of the world. So you see how we're, again, being pushed towards this. And just like Ada said, we're weak and our enemies know it. So yeah, if we are weak and they know it, they're either provoking us into something so that they can take over, or they're shark bumping us to testing our reactions. There's a lot of room for bad things to be happening. Great night for some high strangeness. It sure is, because things just get weirder and weirder. We are, yeah. That's the age of Aquarius. We are in the age of Bluebeam. Hey, we shut something down, but not sure. I know. I'm like, okay, what? And usually, sorry, I'm making myself insane with my hair. Usually, they don't announce things unless they know something that news in general, that they have an explanation. So it seems very weird that they're like, we shot something down, but we don't have an explanation. But you guys just got to be okay. Fill in the blanks on that. You think it's a simulation that's glitching and in desperate need of a defrag and reboot. Yeah, is that what's happening? I would think if that tech is so great and enhanced, I'm like, well, how is it glitching out? Reboot coming in 2046, right? The Phoenix event. Seems likely, Brian. Ooh, a lot of people are on that page. Mr. White, yes, science named that show. Mr. White. Yes, science. Is that Breaking Bad? I've never seen Breaking Bad, but I think the guy's name is Walter White. Is that it? He did something. He did an event with my acting teacher that I missed. I should have went, but I heard it was very nice. That guy, Bryan Cranston. I feel like, look, I'm having a hard time with my hair tonight. I feel like that guy with the crazy hair who goes, aliens. Breaking Bad. Oh, so I guessed right. Okay. Tin Top for the win. I guessed that before I looked, by the way. Before I looked at your answer, Tin Top. You're out right now. Can't stay. Catch the replay later. Have a great night. Well, thank you for popping in tonight. Better Call Saul next level. I've seen some clips from Better Call Saul. I'm very intrigued. It looks funny and unhinged and like, I don't know, this very interesting way that might be like up my alley. So I have to check it out. I have to watch Breaking Bad at some point. But right now, I've just gotten sucked into 6 Feet Under. No spoilers, please, anyone. But like, wow, I'm like, that's a good show. It took me a long time to watch it. I dragged my feet for a long time, but I am like, can't put it down. Can't put it down like it's a book. You know what I mean? 100 years ago, they didn't know how radar works. Now laser is the new tech, but they were measuring your shapes from the sky. Is that shapes or ships? But yeah. But I love that you can just put everything in the name of science. You know, we're measuring your military bases. No, we're not. We're not. We're just checking the altitude. We want to map the face of the earth just like you did, right? They can just cover up everything in the name of science. People in the 1700s saw the sky turn into a machine-like structure that they had no conceptual way to accurately describe it. There are artist rendition woodcuts of the events. Interesting. Sorry, guys, I'm so behind. Wrapped in bacon. You like bacon? It does taste very good. But now I hear they're putting certain substances into animals we don't want in our bodies. No one say aliens. Yeah, aliens. Get a duck hole beanie, right? No, but I don't want to wear a beanie. I don't want to cover my hair. Hey, Steve. You thought they originally said these things operate with impunity, meaning we can't compete with the way they move, but we shot one down. That's so true. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Who's going to accept that? The normies are going to accept it, right? We know if these things supposedly have this amazing technology, and they can, launch 10 Gs in a second, whatever, turn it a 90-degree angle. Our fighter jets can track that down and shoot something down. They're that weak. No, that's not. It's science fiction. And it's science fiction for the purpose of leading normies to fall right into their plans. I love the word normie. Duck hole for the win. I love a good duck hole. Ooh, that sounds weird. I love a good rabbit hole, but we call it a duck hole here. You started the Seinfeld episodes again? I've never seen Seinfeld. I've seen, pieces here and there, but I should watch it, right? It's local. Or it takes place locally. At least that Air Force general didn't tell us to just look up on the sky to identify where the aircraft is located again. Wait. When last week's insanity, like how and I love the word unhinged, but how unhinged is everything that's what they're telling us. Oh, just look up. That's where it's at. If you want to know where it is, just look up. It's so ridiculous. Everything's so ridiculous. Talk about unhinged and unserious. I got blocked by somebody because I was laughing at the whole Marjorie Taylor Greene at Congress thing. And I guess they're like, how dare these people in Congress do it? It's so disrespectful. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi was ripping up stuff. And somebody posted a meme about that. And then I responded. I said, Congress is the most unserious place. I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene is just following protocol. But yeah, so the way the Air Force is reacting, whatever's going on with Congress, everything in our country is just turned into a big joke. But then I wonder, was it always just a joke and we're just more aware of it now? Or is it just falling apart at the seams a little more than usual? Got a cruise crew, love to all. Well, thanks for hanging around. Yep, there we go, down the duck hole. What is the duck hole, Steve? Duck hole is the cliff notes of a rabbit hole. I like the way you put that, Tin Top. Okay, yeah, because people say going down the rabbit hole, we're going down this or that, and then I think it was Torin who just one day typed the duck near a hole, and I'm like, that is perfect for us, the duck hole, because it's different. So we fall down the duck hole here, and I like that. It is a cliff notes of a rabbit hole, because for the most part, the stuff we talk about, everybody is already aware of it. On this thing, it's not news to most people, so why go through the entire rabbit hole? We just do the Cliff Notes version and then discuss it. You love a good duck hole. That sounds weird. Yeah, I did realize that. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Oh, with a t-shirt at the I remember. Okay, thank you for remembering. So I did get the design, and I put it on the shirt. Or if I had somebody design a down the duck hole imagery, Brian got an early sneak preview of it. I believe I'm going to do that print on demand because I don't have the ability to buy a large amount and have it on hand in order to send it out. And then to top it off, I don't think people want to dox themselves with, their address. So at some point I will find the proper print on demand to do it. Just the only other thing that's holding me back is I want to get a proper logo designed for High Strangeness that could go on the back of that shirt. So I just have to wait till I can do that. And then once I can slap it together, and then anybody can order what they want. If you want to do the down the duck hole. So we can all be like, be one of us, right? All together. The shirt looks awesome. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, because so I don't have the imagery here to share yet, but it's like Alice in Wonderland type design, but a mallard duck. I think it's a mallard. During communistic times, everything was always right as well when you showed the rest of the world, but people who lived there knew better. Yeah, just like today. I mean, think about all the people who point to the socialist countries and the socialism and they go, wow, look how great their healthcare system is. Look at that. Wow, they have free education and they have this. Meanwhile, you talk to people who are actually living there and they're like, no, absolutely not. I talk to people that live in these countries that people are glorifying, their socialist healthcare systems, and they're like, absolutely not. You should tie Stranger Things into the duck hole logo somehow without copyright infringement. Oh, how would you even do that? Well, I guess that's the thing you would throw out to a designer. Hey, can you put a Stranger Things style duck hole, but without being outright being Stranger Things? Yeah, that's a fun thing about people who are artistic. You just throw some ideas at them, and then they present to you what they come up with. You got to bring a shirt to your brother. It is. Oh yeah. Oh, so thank you. So he'll be repping it in my area. I was about to say the name of my hometown. Not that I don't trust you guys. I'm like, you never know who's creeping around. I was just about to, because Brian's brother works in my hometown. So that'll be fun. Duck hole shirt you're in. Oh, I'm so glad you guys want to wear it. That makes me excited. Makes me happy. I just got to figure out this print on demand thing. And the only thing that also makes me feel bad is like this whole print on demand is expensive, and it's not. And I don't want people to think I would be jacking up the prices to be making some major profit, because I wouldn't be. But so it would just be for fun so that we can all have matching t-shirts. But I'm just like shocked at the print on demand prices. I'm like, does anybody want to pay that for a t-shirt? I mean, I've done that in the past when I used to throw around money for merch, but I'm like, yeah. So I want to find a good solution that's affordable and it makes nice stuff. And then I got to get that logo done. I did do like a fun, silly little $15 logo that said Ashley Ash. It's supposed to display in the corner here. I don't know if it did or not. But yeah. But I got to get a proper High Strange. Just you know where I've been doing this stuff. Is it a bad way to do things? But Fiverr, you find some interesting artists on Fiverr who do things at decent rates. Your jacket looks like a sheep wool coat. Looks like a big teddy bear jacket. Oh, that's funny. I think somebody else has said something similar. It's very cozy and warm, and it's like got like that. The pockets look like a waterproof lining. It's just kind of like a sweatshirt, but I guess Sherpa. So thank you. I'm very cozy in it. I wore it out somewhere cold the other night, and I was very comfortable. And it does look like sheep's wool, but it's all synthetic, so it's probably poisoning me at the same time. Just like the plastics in our water supply. Oh my gosh, he's gonna have a blast. Are you gonna have him? Okay, how am I gonna say this that YouTube won't be angry with me because I've said the G word more than once? But you're gonna go pew-pewing with him. He's gonna have a blast. He's not gonna want to come back to New York. I'm so excited for you guys. Bobby Hexelrod sounds like a job for AI. Submit all intellectual property to your robot overlords. Oh. Now you got me thinking about AI. No, I mean, I wouldn't put an artist out of a job, but I was like, AI art. No, One of my friends is an artist. He would kill me if I did that. Surely the chat can help, so Ash can order that to have them in stock. Just saying. Oh, that's nice of you guys. I just don't. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. I'm like, how much do you have to keep on hand? But I guess that's what pre-orders are for. It's hard to, yeah. This is new to me. I never thought I had to figure this out. So, but I like this. I feel like a little cult that we would all have matching t-shirts. And I mean that in a good way. When I'm like, I never thought I'd have to figure it out. It didn't mean that I didn't want to. I never thought anybody would want to be having matching t-shirts. So this is going to be fun. And thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for your generosity. You're always so awesome with that. I appreciate that. Thank you. We're going pew-pewing and rock crawling. Wait, tell me what rock crawling is. Is that what like people take those like all-terrain vehicles and just like drive over things? Is that the only way I could describe it? That's, you don't mean rock climbing. You mean like, yeah, to drive it. That's going to be fun. Super chat with the size you need, folks. Oh, yeah. You know, let's hold off, guys. I gotta figure this out. I gotta get a better handle on, before we put in orders via super chat. Because also super chat will take 30% out. So definitely can't take my orders that way. But no, I just have to, I gotta figure this weirdness out. I thought it would be a lot easier. 4x4ing. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay. I'm like, all-terraining? Yeah. It must be fun. I don't think I've ever been in one of those. With 4x4ing. Oh, wait, is that like you're gonna get in a vehicle like an SUV with all-wheel drive? Is that how it works? Or is this something very specific for rocks? I don't know how it works. Crypto is the answer. I'm noticing that it seems to be answering a lot of things. Oh, crypto's the answer for what? For the shirts? Oh, you're saying take payments that way. It's interesting. That's a thought. I didn't think about that. Oh. Huh. Right, we'll have to think about that. All right, you guys are giving me a lot to think about. Oh, it's your FJ Cruiser. Okay, so the FJ Cruiser is not just for show. It actually does things. That's very cool. I like the FJ Cruiser. Maybe one day I'll still get one. But I remember having my eyes on it for a while. I remember being in college or grad school I don't remember which, on the school computers, just out of curiosity, like doing the those calculators on the website. I think I was in school. I can't remember exactly now, but those where you're calculating your monthly payment on an FJ Cruiser. I was trying to figure it out back then. Donation address with the size you need, folks. But I don't know yet that I could do this because I don't know, the logistics of ordering bulk. I got to figure it out first. But then how do we, because people probably don't want to dox their wallet addresses. I don't know. I'm making myself sound stupid again, but I will figure this out. My chair's still squeaking. I'm sorry, Brian. I think of you every time it squeaks. On that podcast I did the other day, I moved and it squeaked, and I'm like, Brian. Yeah. So wasn't anything too special to talk about. I just wanted to rant with you guys about all this BS, all this ridiculousness that's going on, and the fact that they want us to fall for it. And the people they're going to play right into these people's hands. That's just the way it is. Because you can see the people online running about and being like UFO. How big of an order does it have to be? That's what I don't know. That's why I have to figure it all out. Because also, I haven't had the ability to go and finish the logo yet and plan out the entire shirt yet. But also, once I start going oh, this is confusing, and then I abandon it, kind of like I did at Hex at the beginning. Didn't understand staking anything, so I stopped buying it for a while when I should have just kept buying it. But hold on, there was something I wanted to pull up. That noise is a squeaky. Yeah. Because here's the thing, Steve, I like to sit in like a director's chair. You know, it just works well for whenever I'm on camera. When I'm in my uh a Zoom class, I sit on the tall director's chair so that when I stand up and when I sit, I'm at the same height and I don't have to adjust my camera height. I love being in a director's chair. Problem with the director's chair is everything squeaks and then but it's wood, so I don't want to like spray it and fabric, so I want to spray it with WD-40 and then ruin everything with and get it oily and then the fabric, but I don't want to sit in a regular chair. So I guess I'm being picky. I have my preferences and this is not practical sound wise, but yet I just can't give it up. I love my little director's chair. I know, but I'm like, I don't want to ruin the wood and the fabric. Non-squeaky director's chair. It's probably going to be a metal director's chair. Then I don't know about the metal director's chair. Well, those are the ones they use on set. But yeah. But oh yeah, I wanted to. Now I remember what I was pulling up. Hold on. I saw this really excellent tweet. Somebody had tweeted it out in 2018 and then she retweeted it because I guess all of a sudden she's feeling it's that it's very relevant. Oh my gosh, she just opened Twitter and apparently the Super Bowl's tomorrow. I have no idea what goes on in this sports and entertainment world and, you know, awards and competitions. Okay, where is, sorry, give me a second. Okay, profile. So Edipa Moss, she tweeted back in August 9th, 2018. She's like, we're going to get the worst possible version of Operation Bluebeam, aren't we? And so she retweeted it because everybody is thinking the same thing. I see everybody talking about Project Bluebeam because those of us who know, who are in the know, you know, we see right through it and we know where this is leading. So I saw that and it just kind of like really hit me, especially when it's put that way. We're going to get the worst possible version of Operation Bluebeam. So yeah, so I tweeted that out earlier. You have a stand-up table, then you go on Zoom and you start swaying by accident. You give everybody motion sickness. You know what? Yeah, it's being on camera and not swaying is a hard thing to master at first. And then, you know, once you get used to it, then you get, because like in acting training, most new actors sway in front of the cameras and it's something you have to unlearn. So it's funny how that even goes into the Zoom meetings. There's just something human about not wanting to stand still. And then once you see how bad it looks, then you lock yourself into place in a relaxed way. But well, I mean, think about people behind the counters or like when you're waitressing and you're leaning on something or taking an order, you know, you're always swaying. It's just, yeah, it's our nature, but it's funny. I'm cracking up that you're giving everybody motion sickness. Did they actually complain right about it? You had to get a bar stool to stop swaying. Oh, that is so funny. I love that. Yeah, I learned to lock my feet. I think the best thing to stop swaying is, yeah, just a lot of times our tendency as humans is to kind of stand on one leg and shift your weight. If you're, I remember my acting teacher, Ashley, don't shift your weight. So if you plant yourself like a tripod, but with just like, it's like the ball of your foot, the heel of your foot, and the side of your foot, and just think of them in your brain like tripods, and you're making contact with each foot. It's like you have to visualize it, then that really plants you into face. But I think that might be a link ladder technique. Just a suggestion for all the hex streamers, and not only put a new wallet address for tips and payments. Better to pay tax than paying for a big YouTube corporation, right? Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, honestly, listen, I am grateful for anything I get because I never expected that people would want to send anything to me. So that is amazing and generous. So I am happy either way. So even if it's coming through a super chat and YouTube is taking their 30%, I'm cool with that. But I love the wallet donations too. So I do have a wallet address in my description. What do they call that? Not a bio. Well, the description below. But yeah, I would, yeah, definitely. I agree. Anybody who's a new streamer should have a new wallet just for tips and donations. 100%. I think it's a great way to kind of bypass those things. Grab your family and leave New York. Oh gosh, Ada, you just cracking me up. Are you saying because of what Project Bluebeam and what they're going to do? You think they're going to hit the major cities? Well, oh, just like V takes place in New York City. Well, I mean, okay, but those ships, the mothership was over New York City because of the UN, but all those ships hit all the different cities. Everybody always looks at New York City and says something's going to happen there. Why is everybody always so obsessed with something happening here? But maybe there's a reason that everybody automatically assumes that. But as I always say, I am emotionally attached to my little corner of dystopia. It's very special and lovely here, and I love it. Oh, now you swing what on your bar stool? Do you mean like the twist, or do you have one of those twisty bar stools? I'm gonna assume you don't mean swinging with the pineapples. Oh gosh, Brian, are you and Ada gonna collaborate now? About to get me out of New York City? Am I gonna end up kidnapped? I'm not in New York City. I'm in the suburbs, by the way. Everything and anything. But what is it about New York? Is it because when people think of the United States, they automatically think about New York City? Like, what makes us the potential target for things to happen? I don't understand that. Is it because it's a melting pot? Some people want to claim that it's evil here, but it's evil in DC, it's evil in LA, it's evil everywhere. So I don't understand what the very specific thing about New York is. Yeah, they always hit New York. I don't get it. What was Independence Day? What was that building that gets blown up in Independence Day? Was that New York? Was that DC? I don't remember. Okay, anyway. I like to watch Independence Day every Independence Day, but I didn't get to watch it last year, so my brain isn't so fresh on it. So, all right, guys. I guess I ran out of things to talk about, so stay vigilant. Don't go into the mothership. Don't listen to your alien overlords. Yeah, watch. The mothership is a quarantine camp, right? Biggest economic city in the US, is that it? So in the sense, even though DC is the capital, political capital, it kind of makes New York a different capital in a different way. You're grateful you were raised there, but make even more grateful they gave you the wisdom to leave. No, I mean, it definitely gives us a little spice coming from here, right? A little zhuzh, something, a little flair, especially when we speak correctly. Because we are one of the original 13 colonies, so we have some OG English going on here. Oh, have a good night. Thank you for being here, Steve. K Street and your lame gun laws. I don't know what K Street is. Is that Wall Street? Everybody likes to drag us in our gun laws, but here's the very interesting thing. First of all, where I learned to shoot is going to surprise you guys. Where I learned marksmanship was at a range in Manhattan, of all places. Manhattan has very stringent gun laws, but you can still get a lot in New York State. They, assault weapons, they do restrict, but New Yorkers have their ingenuity and find ways around those restrictions by saying, okay, well, we don't need an adjustable stock, things like that. But what's interesting is the further away you get from New York City, the more lax things get. That you can't get a hand pew in certain places, certain suburbs near New York City, but the more you go out, then the judges are more likely to give it to you. So it's interesting. And somebody was trying to was trying to be obnoxious and drag New York last night for it and being like, I can buy beer and Tannerite in the same place. Like, you can buy Tannerite in New York too. So there is this impression that we are more tyrannical than we are. Yes, you're more tyrannical than other states. But here's the thing. I feel like when you're in a state like New York, it's like the devil that you know. So you're always aware, you're always on guard. You're not becoming complacent being in a red state and thinking that they'll never do things to you, that these things will never happen here, because then you let your guard down in a red state. Think about Texas. Texas has some really garbagey parental rights happening over there. It's pretty scary, the things that you hear out of Texas. But look, it's a red state, so you wouldn't expect that. But again, people let their guard down in a red state. So here, at least we know, and we're not surprised, and we're on guard for what's happening. So I think, it's very important to not drop your guard in a red state, because you know what? There's two sides of the same horn, or as they would say in the help, two goats on the same, no, two horns on the same goat. So that's one aspect of it. But it's interesting because New York, I always say that the born and bred New Yorkers are like the real deal. They're like the kind of people that you all would like. They're like me. What happens is we get the rejects from the other cities that think they were too good for their city and state. So they drag over to here. They want to LARP as New Yorkers. And then they vote horrendously and they change everything around them. So really, it's the transplants that cause an issue. And I realize this because sometimes I've sat in things and places and classes and different situations, and I look around and I realize I'm the only person that's from here. So that's where I started making the connections. When I think of everyone who is just born and bred, like real New York people, they're like me. New York is a red state at its heart. It's the transplants that ruin it. Which is funny because everybody says, oh, the New York transplants, the transplants from everywhere else, they ruin our cities, they ruin our states. No. Your transplants come in, ruin New York, and then pretend they're New Yorkers, they're LARPing as New Yorkers, and then move into the other states, call themselves New Yorkers, even though they're not born and raised here, and then mess up everything in these other states. Right? Okay. I don't know what you're saying facts to, which one of that statement, but I feel like you understand that you see that too, that at its core we're red. Okay, so you meant Wall Street. I want to hear your pulse strategies the next time. Honestly, because it's been so long, I keep throwing around all different ideas in my head. I have not solidified my strategies. Because it's hard. I'm flexible on my strategies because I feel like it really depends when things launch. It depends what the world looks like. It depends what my situation is like. So, I throw around different ideas in my head, but really it's just dependent on when it happens, I feel like. You know what, Brian? Every weapon is an assault weapon when used properly. So, yeah, exactly. So is a car. Constitutional carry is the only way. I think New Hampshire has constitutional carry. It's constitutional carry is the way to go. It's incredible. So imagine if you find a little knife in your pocket in the EU, you are presenting a lethal weapon. I've heard that. It's mind-boggling. That's hard for us to understand here, because here you can walk around with that. In certain places, maybe that could be a little more restrictive, like New York. You're still allowed to walk around with them. They just have to be under a certain amount of inches. So the fact that you can't even carry, you can't even carry a pocket knife? That's insane. Didn't your family make you an offer? You had mentioned it. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. An offer to get an incentive to get me to move? Yeah, I mean, they've tried to incentivize me in different ways. But I'm like, past the point, what choice do I have? If my entire family leaves, I'm not going to stay here alone. So doesn't matter if there's an incentive or not, but I'm not going to do it willingly. I'm going to leave kicking and screaming. You're having that problem here in Arizona with migrants from Cali. Sorry, I just have to hop to this a second, Brian. I don't know what accent I did. So, but I do feel accenty tonight. Sometimes I feel like it comes out when I'm being sillier. So I don't know if I could do it again because I don't know what I did. Got it. Work on the family first. Yeah, well, trust me, my family wants to. I'm the one who's like, I can't picture myself anywhere else. If I had to go somewhere, I would push farther into the Northeast. But I'm just a Northeasterner. So you're having the same problem in here with migrants from Cali. But oh no, I've heard that the California ones are the worst, that they're really making the worst problems. But like what I said about the New York migrants, like that makes sense, right? The fact that they're basically the LARPers, that they're not the actual New Yorkers, the majority of New Yorkers are like us. For the most part. I mean, yes, in certain suburbs it gets a little mixed, but I mean, if you look at a New York map, New York is red. Like, yeah. And it's funny because they, New York City really messes things up for the entire state. But it's funny because they also have such low voter turnout, and like only like a small amount of New Yorkers will like turn out and reelect. I shouldn't even call them New Yorkers, but the LARPing New Yorkers, and reelect really stupid mayors too. So it's really odd. Very weird. So I'm gonna go into bed and watch 6 Feet Under. Yeah. So I guess I'm all talked out, and I'm in my corner. I was admiring my corner on here. I know it's not the prettiest corner, but it's kind of nice to feel like you got the corner for streaming. So, because I didn't like streaming in the other places I've done. So, alrighty, guys. You all have a good night. Yeah, like and sub if you haven't already. Thank you, and hello to everybody watching in the replay. Like we said before, donation links for anybody who does want to help out the channel. Donation address, Venmo, whatever is in the description below. I'm not taking any pre-orders yet. I gotta hammer down the details and figure out the shirts, but I'm excited that you guys want to wear shirts. I feel like a little cult, but a good cult. But no, I'm not serving Kool-Aid. Speaking of cults, I was thinking about the Raleian cult recently. We should talk about the Raleian cult. Remember all those topless freedom protests? Those were the Raleians behind it. They got some weird things they get behind, and nobody's talked about them for a while. It's been a while, so I would like to talk about the Raleians soon. That's why there's very few assaults in the European Union. It's the most peaceful place in the world. No wild animals, no angry people, guns and knives, unless you meet drunk people. You know what? I've seen those videos of Irish people drunk and fighting. It can get pretty intense. But here's the thing. I understand what you're saying, but part of the weapon thing, because here in the United States, even if you ban all the weapons, people will start beating each other with rocks. We're feisty people. So parts of that is cultural, if things are more peaceful. But besides that, unfortunately, not being allowed to have weapons are a deterrent. So they're a deterrent against tyranny. They're a deterrent against invasion. And Katie Hopkins had that excellent example of people's houses getting broken into by their power companies to install those prepaid meters. She said that this is unfathomable in America, would not happen. She's like, if you go into somebody's house in America without their permission, you might not come out. She was praising our Second Amendment and saying, you know what? Things like this don't happen there because of the Second Amendment. And just like Brian was saying, maybe lockdown would have been a lot worse if we didn't have that. So, thank you, Brian. Yep, there's my donation address. I appreciate it, guys. And also, I have Amazon affiliate links. I know I push those sometimes, but because the thing is, I feel like so many people shop on Amazon. So, we talk about different products and books and stuff. So, if anyone wants to buy them, if you buy through my link, it'll send me a percentage and it'll help things out. But like, even if you're doing your other shopping, your grocery shopping, if you're buying a Kindle book, if you're renting something on Amazon, if you just click through that link and then complete your purchase, even if it's not the thing that you clicked the link for, you just click through it basically and make your purchase, it'll send me a percentage. And I know I bring that one up a lot too, because, I feel like if you're going to shop anyway, it'll help out the channel. So yeah, so that's another option. They guess they call that affiliate links. What network is 6 feet under on? HBO Max. I think it used to be on Netflix for a while, but now when everybody had to make their own streaming services, they took some of their stuff back. I actually was watching it because I was watching Servant, and one of the actors on Servant was on 6 Feet Under, and she was so fantastic in Servant. She's that was like her big TV start. She was in other things, but I'm like, okay, I want to see where she started from, just out of curiosity, because I heard and I hear a lot of people talk about 6 Feet Under, but I just got sucked into the whole story. So I went to see it just out of curiosity. I'm like, oh, it's really good. You came for the Kool-Aid. I'm sorry. I can only offer what else do cults do? Tater tot casserole. The Duggars and their cult. They like tater tot casserole. So I don't have Kool-Aid, but I can get you some tater tot casserole. That took my brain a while to They got rid of guns in Australia. Now they stab each other. Evil people will be evil. Yeah, that's what, that's why they say it'll, people are going to find a way. Like I said, people will be beating each other with rocks. I know that some European countries have people that get run over. Isn't that something that sometimes happens in the UK? And I've heard there's been stabbings and beheadings, and that not all the cops carry guns. So when they're witnessing that happening, they don't have the ability to intervene. So you kind of got to look at it as, even if you don't like weapons, why do they want so badly for us not to have them? You always got to question, when they're pushing something so hard, what the purpose is. And if you look at all the different mass genocides, it usually started with a disarmament before then. I'm thinking about, is in Cambodia? Didn't they disarm their people too before those genocides? Edit your shortcut to Amazon in your bookmarks to her link. Oh, cool. That's a cool way to do it. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Cults chant. We need a chant. We need a song. Huh. Oh, cult, or they chant. We need a chant. Have to think about that. Alrighty, guys. So you have a good night. I will see you soon. And sleep tight. Don't let the aliens bite, and don't let the fake aliens bite. The ones that Joe Biden plans. No, we shouldn't give Biden that much credit. The elites are gonna send to us. There are fake alien overlords. God created men. Cult made them equal. Oh, that's a good one. Is Cult the one that makes the python? The one that Rick Grimes has in The Walking Dead? I know revolvers aren't practical, but that was a very pretty one. But alrighty. So you guys have a good night. We'll see you soon. Thanks again, and stay awake to these people. Don't fall for it. Don't be a normie. Bye, guys.